Hi everyone, in today's lesson we will be looking at answering high-level questions to do with recurring decimals. So let's have a look at a question. Change 0.45 recurring into a fraction. Okay, so let's say let x equals 0.45 recurring. I'm just going to write down 0.45 recurring as a decimal in slightly full form. So because the dot is on top of the 5, that means the 5 is being repeated or it's recurring. So that decimal will be 0.45555. The 5 is recurring. Okay. We need to times this decimal by something so that the number 5 goes onto the other side of the decimal point because that's recurring, that's being repeated. We can times this decimal by 100. And when we do that, we end up with 45.55555 recurring and so on. Okay, now remember, because we times this by 100, we've got to times this by 100. And we end up with 100x equals 45.5 recurring. Now, if you have watched the previous lessons to do with recurring decimals, you will see that what we did was we wrote x equals, and then it's 0.45 recurring here, and we subtracted the two equations. Well, we can't do that in this situation because what we're trying to do is we're trying to eliminate the recurring decimals. We're trying to get rid of the recurring decimals. And what's happening here is that the recurring decimals are not underneath each other. Therefore, they won't cancel out. So what we need to do is we need to times this by something so that this 5 moves up here. So it's underneath this other recurring 5. So then we can cancel them out. So what I can do is I can times this one by 10. Okay, and if I times that by 10, you will see I'm going to get, if I times that by 10, and if I times that by 10, I get 10x here, and I get 4.5 recurring there. Now, you'll see what I mean. I'm going to write 100x equals 45.5 recurring. And I'm going to subtract 10x equals 4.5 recurring. And you can see that the recurring decimals are underneath each other now, and I can cancel them. Recurring 5 take recurring 5 is nothing. 5 take 4 is 1. 4 take nothing is 4. And then obviously we've got 100x subtract 10x. That gives me 90x. And I want to get rid of the 90 from the x. So remember, that's 90 times by x. So I need to do the opposite. So I need to divide by 90 on both sides. Okay, and that cancels because I'm left with 1x. So just x equals 41 over 90. So the decimal 45.5 recurring, oh sorry, 0.45 recurring as a decimal is, as a fraction is 41 over 90. And I'm just going to write that down in full so you can see what I mean. We've got 100x here, 45.555, so on. Subtract 10x equals 4.555, so on. And you can see 5 take 5, nothing. 5 take 5, nothing. 5 take 5, nothing. 5 take 4 is 1. 4 take nothing is 4. That becomes 90x, and you do exactly the same as before. You divide 90 on both sides, and there we are. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. You can write this out in full, or you can write it out in short form, and you can cancel them either way. You can subtract it to start it, like we did at the first method that we did. Okay, that was our lesson on changing a recurring decimal into a fraction, high level question. This is a question that will be expected of you to answer if you are aiming for a higher level such as a grade 8 or a grade 9. Thank you for watching. Thank you.